What is up, guys? My name's V and I don't know anything. In today's video, I will try to explain in simple terms the dangers of the Culling game, as well as the colonies, barriers, boundary, and other side jargon introduced in the manga. The original analysis isn't my own, and all credit should go to JMoney2131. Let's jump right in. There are 10 colonies that will serve as the battleground for the ritual to merge humanity with Tengen. Those 10 colonies themselves are large-scale barriers erected by Kenjaku. The cursed energy emitted within each individual colony whilst battling/killing each other is what allows the ritual to move towards completion, deepening the understanding of cursed energy of the 1,000 total new sorcerers and collecting it. The 10 colonies themselves are connected to one another in a straight-ish line. The line where these colonies connect to one another form a boundary of an even larger barrier erected by Kenjaku. That extremely large barrier starts at the most western point of Japan, and ends at the boundary line created by the connecting colonies. As the battling within the colonies happens, the cursed energy that is outputted will slowly cause that extremely large barrier at the most western point on Japan to start moving eastward until it has covered the entirety of Japan. The boundary line of the extremely large barrier that connects all of the colonies serves as the gateway to the other side. As we've seen in Jujutsu Kaisen already from chapter 56, the act of crossing a boundary or barrier has significant meaning in Jujutsu. In the case of the Culling game, that significance is the evolution of humanity. As the ritual moves towards completion and the extremely large barrier moves eastward, all the people that the barrier passes are prepped to be merged with Tengen. When the extremely large barrier reaches the boundary line and connects all the colonies together, all people who the barrier has passed will convey them to the other side and will continue to move eastward until all of Japan has been enveloped by the extremely large barrier, its cursed energy collected from within the 10 colonies. As stated in chapter 146 by Tengen himself, a curse has fallen on every human in Japan within the extremely large barrier that preps the humans to be merged with Tengen at the completion of the Culling game. The other side is nirvana, a state of being without a sense of self or desire, a higher form of being. Jujutsu Kaisen takes a lot from Buddhism. Tengen himself explains that he only maintains his form because he's incredibly gifted at barrier techniques himself, and the barrier around himself at the Star Tomb allows him to hold the physical form. Tengen is existing as one with the world itself. His soul, the essence of who he is, exists everywhere. If the merger with Tengen happens and all the humans of Japan evolve, each individual soul or essence would exist everywhere as part of the world itself. That is why Tengen says that those who would merge with him would exist and not exist at the same time. Their soul or essence would exist as part of the world itself, but without a physical form that separates others from themselves. That is incredibly dangerous, because in the evolved state, there is no individuality. The physical form that separates humans from each other would be gone, and everyone would exist as part of the same whole, in this case being the world itself. Instead of being 100 million different people with their own individual thought processes and feelings that affect only themselves, they will become part of the world itself created from the collective 100 million souls of those evolved, without individuality. If even one human is inherently evil, harboring ill will, regret, or negative emotions or feelings towards the world, then negativity will be cast in the world itself by all 100 million people of Japan that evolved because there is no boundary or physical form between all 100 million evolved souls. They don't have a physical form or boundary for the individuality, they exist as a collective part of the world itself. If that comes to pass, 100 million evolved souls would be creating curses from the exact same negativity because all 100 million evolved souls have no individuality from each other. They are 100 million different souls with their own feelings and thoughts and that make them their own individual soul, but they all share and are bound to the same form, the world itself. Take Jogo for example. He was created by the collected fear and negative thoughts people harbor towards volcanoes. He was immensely strong, only defeated by Gojo and 15 Fingers Sukuna. Now, how powerful would the curse be that the world created from 100 million evolved souls/beings that would all share the same collected negativity due to the lack of a physical form that separates each evolved soul from another? It would be the end of the world. Whew, that was a lot. But let's try to summarize in my words and, my understanding. It seems Kenjaku wants to summon a greater being, maybe a cosmic being, you could say, by using the 100 million people or however many people are in Japan. Basically ascending everybody, kind of like Tengen does, but at the same time to make this 100 million person collective. And that happens when the barrier moves across Japan and completes the ritual. That ritual is completed by the cursed energy by the people fighting in the colonies. So the goal of the arc is going to be stop the ritual. And to do that, it seems that the rules they add to the Culling game might be what changes things or not. I'm not sure how they're going to prevent it, right? Because essentially every human now is cursed in Japan. If you don't go into the colonies to begin with, you lose your, what's it called, technique. But the way they described you losing your technique is that they fry your brain, so it's essentially a death. And thus, everybody who has cursed energy is going to be in these colonies unless they want to die. Maki maybe being the exception. Maybe Yuji too, depending. Because it's not really his own. But everybody, if you go into the colonies, you have to fight, and your cursed energy will be used to move the barrier, which in turn eventually turn everybody in Japan. So it's this crazy situation, right? We're in this base. It looks like a no-win scenario where you don't go into the colonies, then you essentially die, or you go into the colonies and you help turn everybody in Japan into this big, giant 100 million soul collective that will end up, producing a giant curse or being out of it, which will then obviously destroy the rest of the world outside of Japan, presumably. So it's crazy. I don't know how they're going to get out of it, right? This is this great big master plan that Kenjaku has been planning probably forever. He is extremely old. He has been hopping from body to body for a long, long time. So I don't know how they're going to do it, right? So the way they affect the game, at the very least, and I don't know if it's just to make it more interesting for the reader or to give us hope, is the rules that they make from getting 100 points. And as we know, to get those points, it's by killing people or by killing Jujutsu sorcerers, right? They're worth 5 points. Curse users, too, I would imagine. And I'm not sure the nature of the rules that can be added, because I think there was a caveat that it can't affect the long-term nature of the game. Like, you can't have a rule that everybody has to stop fighting, I'm assuming, because that ruins the game. So it's going to be interesting how they end up stopping this ritual, because it's for all intents and purposes, it seems that it's already set in stone. Either you die by not participating, or you go in and participate and cause the ritual to complete. It looks like the barrier scanning over everybody initially does not, kill you right away. It preps you for when it reaches the end. So essentially everybody has time until the game is complete. But is it enough time to not only participate in the game, because you can't leave once you enter. If you enter willingly, you can't leave. It's crazy. I don't know. This plan is, I kind of went over my head the first time. I'm not going to lie. This analysis definitely helped. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, I'll try to explain things from my own understanding. Otherwise, I'm waiting for chapter 147. It's coming out soon. Thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching.